I'm like, where are all the missing babies? You know, how many babies does it take to feed all the Democrats if they're all drinking the blood of the babies? There's going to be some missing babies, right, somewhere? No, yeah, they're from overseas. They got some answer to anything you throw at them. Tom Hanks, I'm like, that's not true. Tom Hanks still making movies. Tom Hanks didn't eat a baby. Yeah, he did. And they believe it.
Where did Tom Hanks one come from?
I don't know.
Where did that one come from?
It's just straight out of QAnon. That was their basic doctrine in the beginning, was all this bizarre claims. And I got a friend you met her, and I'm not going to say her name, but she believes this with all of her heart.
Right.
All of her heart. And there's nothing I can do to say, nothing I can do. Nothing I can do to change her mind.
I think at least a certain portion of that is other governments fucking with people in these chat rooms.
Absolutely it is.
Yeah.
And you can sway the uninformed. They're not uninformed, they're misinformed.
Yeah.
They're informed, they're taking in information, but it's just the wrong information, and you can be easily manipulated by that kind of stuff. I mean, the human nature wants to go where it finds comfort,
Yeah.
And if somebody's feeding you what you eat, you'll go that way, even if it's not good for you.
And people have a very strong desire to uncover mysteries.
Right.
Very strong desire to get to the truth.
Yeah.
Because in important situations, like if there's something real going on, that's a good quality. It's a good quality to have. But if it's, they're eating babies, it's like, okay.
Right.
What's the benefit of eating babies? Why are they doing this?
It gives them some kind of superpower. It's so bizarre and so off of any what I would consider realm of possibility of even part of it being true. But people go down there and they'll see just a path of things that lead them. Some of it true, some of it not true, not true, not true, not true, and they'll head off down that direction. They don't come back. It can separate families, man. That don't talk to Grandpa anymore. He's gone off the fucking deep end.
And you know what's really insidious about that? Is that the more crazy ones that are out there, and the more people start linking them all together, the more real conspiracies sneak through. Because if you wanted to hide a real conspiracy, I would hide it in a bunch of other bullshit conspiracies. But if you did that, though, then you could sneak in some real conspiracies, and that otherwise people would think, well, that's outrageous. That kind of corruption would be uncovered.
Right.
That kind of corruption would be prosecuted. And you're like, wait, anybody's getting busted for this? This is
right.
What?
Right,
no one's
and nobody
investigated.
Right, so it's not really happening.
It's bananas.
But and also people want to, I know because somebody that has no formal education. Right, I don't have any formal education. I didn't make it through high school. My favorite joke that I ever wrote was, I do have a GED, and if you don't know what GED stands for, you've probably got one too. And that's one of my favorite jokes. But they would love to have the answer to a question. They would love to be able to make a point of some kind. They would love to, but they can't, because they're just sit around watching other people do it. And I wish I could think of something to say, and I can't think of anything to say. Well, if there's somebody feeding them something to say, now they get real loud about it,
right,
because they have a point to make, even though they don't understand it at all. They just know how to sound like they're making a point, like Lauren Boebert or Marjorie Taylor Greene or whoever. That's who they were, and now they feel like they can make a point, so they're being real fucking loud about it. But if you've actually been around a while, you just sit around and shake your head and go, "You're a goddamn idiot." But all you got to do is be the smartest person in your region, and boom, you're in Congress. They think she's smart as fuck down there in that one little section of Georgia where Marjorie Taylor's out of.
The problem with it is, how many people that want to run the government? How many people do you know? How many people that you know that are really healthy, clear thinking, business-minded people that have been successful that want to run the government?
Nobody.
Fucking nobody.
Nobody.
So you're not getting any of those folks.
No, you're not. And what you're going to get is you're going to get their money to influence things in the direction they'd like to see it go, without them having to be there doing day-to-day stuff on it. So they can have influence on it, but they don't want to. Do they want to be the president of the United States?
Do they have it set up like a minor league? Like they groom politicians, they get them to a position, and like, I like how you stand on this,
Right,
but maybe if you stood a little bit further on this line, we could support you on this.
Absolutely.
And then they start grooming them for the big stage, just like you would do with like regional plays, and then all of a sudden you're on Broadway.
Right. Well, that's the religious right. They wanted somebody. They wanted to get rid of abortion. So what are they going to do? They got to stack those courts. What are you going to do? You're going to there's 1 trillion of us. And we'll put you in office, and we'll be. But you got to put this judge here and this judge there. So what our thing comes to pass. So that's just the way it works.
I'm even more cynical. I just can't believe that human beings as a whole haven't resolved a bunch of different things. There's a bunch I don't believe are really coming back around. I think people are making this argument that they're coming back around, and they're highlighting moments where it's coming back around.
Coming back around to what?
I mean, I think this is one of the weirdest times ever for human beings to communicate. And I think because there's so many of us, and there's so many people that are talking, and there's so many voices, and it's happening on everyone's phone, and it's happening all over the fucking world, all at once.
It's never been like this ever in the history, and it makes you wonder where it's going.
I think it's short-circuiting everything.
I do too.
It's short-circuiting our government. It's short-circuiting.
It makes me nervous. And one of the things that makes me nervous, this government that we have, it's complicated. It is complicated. So you just can't be some douchebag on the side going, I want them out of there. Well, you got to have a plan, because this thing's got to work. Yeah. You don't want separation of church and state? Well, why don't you just move to Iran then? Because that's what happened over there. The religious right took over. Now our laws are your laws. That used to be a pretty normal place. People don't believe that. But Iran used to be fucking strawberry rivers and shit, and normal people with jobs. And
Ron, there were people that were willing to laugh at people's deaths because they didn't want to get vaccinated for COVID. There were people like that at the same time, thinking they're good people.
Yeah.
All on the internet.
I know. And when it came to all that stuff, me, I don't talk about politics on stage, and I never knew, and I never will. And it's not, you just want to be able to sell tickets to both people. But no, I want stand-up comedy to be a place where we can laugh. And I'm going to do what so I'm not going to take a position. I never did. If I was a political commentator before, okay, that's fine. If I'm not Bill Maher.